Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here is a look at the ES in the daily time frame. You can see already a major rally here that has transpired overnight, which really triggered after hours yesterday, right at the RTH close there. Price immediately reopened thereafter and rallied, and has since continued higher to beyond the previous session's high already. So here we are heading into the RTH open, and we've already seen a major roll up of the previous session's range back to 4,400 and above at the moment, heading into today's FOMC statement, the rate decision, and the press conference that follows. So again, we're going to get ourselves another FOMC key level today. The last FOMC key level we got was FOMC 1215 here, the December FOMC key level. Again, the idea behind these levels, the market continues to be a Fed-based type of market here. As Fed's policy goes, so goes the market. At least that's been the case over the last decade. Plus, you can see here a little bit of action around that level immediately, and then takes it bid, rejects, comes back to the level, tries to bounce, fails at the level, and then we see a massive push down. We've also seen recent levels like the June 16th, which was a naked level, finally get hit. And now we're holding here ahead of the FOMC key level to come. So we have the 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time is the key level. So look at the open price of that hour, and that's going to be our key level for the 126 FOMC date, and that'll give us additional opportunities ahead. Again, given this move right now, this major roll up here, I'd be cautious of a failure to hold above the previous session's high. So a failure to hold above 4406.75 could begin to push price back inside the range, as price mostly trades within the last couple of days range heading into the FOMC date or statement. It would be very rare to continue to see a continuation higher heading into that statement. So instead, look for perhaps a pullback and maybe things to go a bit more quiet heading into that statement later on this afternoon. Thursday tends to be a very high range day after the FOMC statement as well. Let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ also rallied all the way back up the range and went back to the previous session's high, got just up beyond it, which is 14,499s, and now pulling back. So today's high 506, it got about 6-7 points beyond it and then pulled back a bit. The same can be said here. You got a very narrow range here. We could continue to be inside this 2-day range until that FOMC statement comes out. Once we get that, we'll have greater clarity here. But how we finish this week is going to be very important moving forward. As of right now, we've had a big drop and then we've turned around, so there's a big tail. That tail's also below last year's finishing value. We've also gotten that tail to develop at the previous year's midpoint in an uptrending market overall. This could be a tremendous buying opportunity up ahead if the Fed plays along here later on this afternoon. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Now, crude oil has reached the previous week's high, putting in a new high, 87.20 right now. A significant continuation up. Buy signal by the end of yesterday's session. You can see 3 days below the 8-period pivot-based EMA and 3 days back closing above it, and now new highs yet again. Overall, this market continues to push higher toward the next upside key targets above. That's 87.63 is the next one, and then 96.03 is the one well beyond that. As of right now, we could see this thing continue to trade in here, build some energy, and then push beyond. At the moment, the 2-week trading range that has developed is very, very clear, so any failure to kind of stay above 87s could open up a pullback toward 85, the center of the range, and we may be in a 2-week trading range back down to 82s. And that range could develop again as we build energy for another push toward 96. All right, let's take a look now at Bitcoin. What you'll see with Bitcoin here is a nice low that developed here, 32,855s, a doji-like day in the previous session, stop run day starting to develop here, a big push back above the 37.5 level. You can see right here again, we could come down here and still get the lower edge of this range. This bounce could still be another opportunity to sell it until proven otherwise. But at the moment, seeing a nice counter trend move up. That's what we talked about before. This is a strong enough low to at least get 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 days of strength. And if we're lucky, maybe it does get even more strength beyond that if it can find a way to push back above 40. But a higher low, lower low failure, something of that line, along those lines, could be a tremendous opportunity. We're still kind of in midair between the previous year's close and the previous year's low, and perhaps we still need to come get that before we bounce. So again, a nice short-term move higher, expecting this thing to continue to trend up here today. But once we start getting back toward or above 40,000, that's going to be the real test here. Are we going to see another round of selling there, or do we push through and start to find it as support? Lastly, taking a look at Ethereum here, Ether futures up 7.78% here today. A big move back up, very similar to Bitcoin. This one also came just shy of the other edge of the range here, but did drop well below the 2750 zone, dropped into the 2150s, bouncing now very nicely. Nice midpoint hold the previous session and a stop run day up. So very, very solid. Same type of thing here, expecting further strength, expecting 2500 to hold on a retest, and we push higher to challenge 2750 from below. That's going to be the major point. If we see a rejection here, kind of like in this zone, that could be an opportunity to drop this thing back towards 1700. That would be a great spot to either add to a position or to begin to develop one as well. So right now, the current bounce is very nice. We'll see how that plays out once 2750 is tested from below. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the FOMC statement and rate decision later on this afternoon. Could be quite a bit of volatility that follows over the next several days and perhaps over the next couple of weeks. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.